Good afternoon, and welcome back to the Strawberry Sundaes podcast. We are very lucky to have Rafi here today. Rafi, how are we?
What's up, man? How are we? I'm well. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Very good. We'll get straight into it. We won't keep them waiting any longer. So, if you want to just go into a bit of detail about yourself, for the people in the stream that might not know who you are, and what you do for the community.
Sure. Human being that lives in Brooklyn, New York, first and foremost. Um, I got into the scene by just translating my passion for gaming into what's now being built into a business. I am the founder and owner of what started off as a regiment slash a clan tag and is now a team now, and we're going to be making it an actual official organization here in the next couple weeks. That's Team Rafi. Unfortunately, that nomenclature was born into by the players themselves, not me in the slightest. I didn't want it to be that, but my first name ended up being part of the team name. Um, and I basically just I work for Adidas, specifically NX88. So it's we're the marketing and social AOR for Adidas Global. So all of the marketing stuff that you see in the UK, I touch. All the stuff that you see globally, I'm a part of. And just recently, last week, I became advisor for uh, the CDL org NYSL, the subliners, as well as Nbox. So that is kind of how I touch everything.
I mean, there's some huge names that you're just reeling off there with just no emotion. Just like when you're saying NYSL, Adidas, just like casual.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, listen, I think at the end of the day, the reason I am where I am is because I approach things without ego.
mm,
I treat people that aren't subscribed to my Twitch, that aren't, you know, whatever, the same way I treat somebody that's the highest subscriber, the highest donator. I think it's all about treating people the same way. That's why I say human being. Like you put on your briefs, your boxers, your shorts, your pants the same way I did this morning.
mm.
We both fucking pissed in a toilet when we woke up, right? So I'm not a better person or a better human being than you are in any way, shape, or form. I think it's what we decide to do between those 24 hours of the day that determines how it is that you kind of walk around this planet.
That's such a good mindset to have. Such a good mindset. So we'll go like right back to the beginning. So sort of growing up. Was gaming always something that you had growing up and you always were involved with?
I would love to say yes to that, but I had very, very strict parents. Um, I spent most of my childhood grounded, so most of the time I was watching my little brother play the console that I was gifted for Christmas because I was always in trouble growing up. But yeah, I think having a little brother, him and I are only 13 months apart, so that's who I had the pleasure of actually playing video games with before video games had internet injected into them, right? So always had that competitive nature about us of who's going to be better
Mm,
between the two of us. But I think my first console was probably an N64.
okay.
So I've been gaming, but not like I really wish I would have focused on first person shooters instead of FIFA. Um, I was way more of a FIFA player, Madden player growing up than I was Call of Duty titles and like.
Mm, okay. And then, so like you say, it's always been something that like you were involved with. When was it sort of that you transitioned to, like you say, to your multiplayers, to your first person shooters, to where you sort of decided Twitch can be a platform where you can use that and you know build this community?
Officially a year ago this month.
Okay.
Yeah. I found Repulse as, you know, what I my intention was to just, you know, um, support POC. When I say POC, people of color,
Mhm.
streamers. You know, I at first it was Destroy actually. Start off with Swag. Saw Swag had a following already, was already getting supported, and then found Destroy. His name's Alex. And that led to Destroy and Alex playing together, and or sorry, Alex and Hector Repulse playing together, and I decided to just support the Baka Bros from a viewership and dono perspective, and that turned into a lot of his community and himself pushing me to stream because of the mentorship that I was giving Biffle, Lucky Shamu, and Repulse in the background.
Yeah.
Never on stream, but always just being in the Discord, texting them all day, you know, them asking advice on what it is that they should do outside of gaming, how it is that they could monetize. And now they're look at where they are now, which is amazing to see. I'm really happy for them. And from there, and I think that was quite literally either September or August or September of last year, and then I started streaming in November. So I haven't even been in the game for a year yet,
No,
really.
that's crazy. That is crazy. And so when it comes to, for example, Adidas, when how did that come about? How was that involved for yourself?
Ooh, that's the career grind. You know, I graduated from Ohio State not knowing what the hell I wanted to do. Um, Always in the marketing world,
Mhm.
dove into advertising straight away. My personality and how it is that I think and how it is that I carry myself doesn't really fit well with corporate America. I don't really watch my P and Qs. I don't cross my T's or dot my I's for anybody. Kind of wear my heart on my sleeve. So corporate was never going to be my route to quote unquote success, right? Success being subjective for everyone. But I dove straight into advertising, then went from advertising to work for P. Diddy, Puff Daddy. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Mhm.
Sean Combs, Sean Diddy Combs. I don't know what the fuck his name is now, but I worked for him for 2 years as brand director of Ciroc Vodka North America. And then that became Ciroc Vodka as well as De Leon Tequila and Ciroc VS, which is the brown liquor. Um, and that kind of opened my eyes to like, hey, it's not just advertising. It's not just marketing for on the agency side, right? How is it that you can transition that over to corporate America and still find ways of staying close to those brand managers? So worked for Diddy, then went back to publisher, Hypebeast, which is very similar to High Snobiety. I think you'd probably be more familiar with High Snob. Um, Hated it, didn't like publisher at all, and then jumped back over to the brand side, the marketing side of things. So it's been an adventure. I've been a graduate of Ohio State now for 9 years, so I'm about to be on my 10th year of experience in the marketing world.
Mm. Okay. And do you ever feel that those sorts of skills that you take with your everyday career sort of come into your side of things, like you say, with the steps with New York that you're making, and those sorts of, and the help that you provided the Backer Bros and things like that? Do you feel that those skills that you're actually learning from your day-to-day job, are actually then transitioning across to sort of like your content side of things?
Oh, 1000%. I think there's a lot of common ground between marketing and branding and how it is that you can cross over to gaming as a whole. Obviously, gaming is a very broad term, but at the end of the day, Twitch is nothing without its content creators, right? So, um, content creators from the world of video games are becoming household names. and that's what has led to me paying attention to this space is the multi-billion-dollar um, money that's up in the air that I want a part of and I want a piece of. At the same time, how it is that I'm basically balancing that is it's not just about the money, right? Of course, I'm thinking business first. How is it that you can even keel that with bringing other people up with you, which is a huge, huge, huge thing for me.
Mm.
It's not just how can I make my pockets deeper? It's how can I make other pockets people's deeper?
Yeah.
Because if I'm helping somebody else on this side come up and figure out how it is that they can market themselves or how it is that um, them quite literally playing video games can turn into a business for them. That means that I have 10 supporters right off the bat from a team, right? So Team Rafi is 14 people deep. And these 14 players, for the majority of the, and speaking for the majority of my team, had no idea how it is that they could differentiate themselves in the space of hundreds of thousands of people streaming the same stuff.
Yeah.
So, my skill sets that I know from the marketing industry directly correlate and translate over to the esports industry in the sense that I can make illustrious career for someone that wants to be the next Jukis, for someone that wants to be the next FIFA Kill, for somebody that wants to be the next Reed Boy. Like those boys are incredibly talented at what they do, but they are where they are because they provide something outside of just being incredibly cracked or incredibly amazing at the game.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, like you say, a lot of the up and coming, sort of content creators don't necessarily see the side of the branding side of it, the building up all of your socials, not just your Twitch, for example, or YouTube or whatever you stream on. And I think, like you say, people like yourself sort of guiding people in those sorts of routes is just so helpful for people. And like you say, you're seeing all these, especially like you said yourself, the backer bros, unbelievable at the game,
Mm-hmm.
needed that bit of guidance, and now look, they're literally like you say, household names. Um, you know, some are in the competition of saying that you've got like Biffle as the one of the best at Warzone currently. Um, and like you say, he's pushing his brand out, massively at the minute. So yeah, and
Yeah, I
like
think watching their glow up, right? Because I'm not going to sit here and take credit for where it is that they are today. I think Chris slash Swag can take a lot of that because he took a platform. And that's what I love so much about Swag, which is he could continuously be a solo rider and solo person up to the top. But look at what he did. He brought his four best friends
yeah,
into FaZe Clan. Not only that, now he's also helping Hector, Lucky, and Biffle get on the map to a degree as well,
yeah,
right? So I think I think it speaks volumes to how important it is to treat people with respect and how important it is to network in a way where it's not so clout chasing and it's not so self-serving because Chris would have smelt right through that if he would have sensed any of that from Lucky or from Heck or from Rapal's or from
yeah,
Biff. They are the most humble kids in the way that they approach everything. It's not about, hey, what can you do for me? It's more about just come laugh with me, just come troll with me, just
yeah,
come. You ever sit in their streams? That's what they're about, and I think that's what Chris was so attracted toward and helping them. As long as soon as you get a blessing from someone that's already a content creator and they play with you and they consistently invite you every night, like that audience is now lent audience to them, right? So I love to see all of their hard work pay off. I know all of their upbringings. I know all of what it is that they stand for as human beings outside of turning on a PC, and they're very deserving of that. So again, I think the main takeaway from that is be authentic, which I would say Repulse is one of the most authentic streamers out
mm,
there. Very much stay true to himself, no matter what people say. People mocked him for slapping his ass. People mock him for being so sus. People mock him for all this stuff, and he hasn't wavered from that. Why?
Yeah.
Because he's got 20,000 subscribers that come back for that, and he makes them feel like at home, right? So I think that's the most important thing from a streamer's perspective is how do you make people feel welcome, and how do you make people feel like you're pulling up a chair for them to be sitting next to you while you're streaming?
Yeah.
As soon as you figure out that, the rest is history because you want all the people to pull up chairs next to you.
And I think, like you say, I think that you said it perfectly with swag. Sort of those people that sort of try and leech off the bigger streamers, so to speak, the bigger content creators, where they're lucky enough to get, that one invite, and the way that they present themselves and the way that they, you know, potentially act around that person is literally a deal breaker.
Mhm.
As soon as you start, like you say, if you begin to have that personality of trying to leech onto his community, you're not going to get it. If you be true to yourself and enjoy it, enjoy the experience, and they enjoy the experience, like you say, that community then shifts across because you're then playing regularly with them. You're, building up that friendship with them and treating them like a normal person and not just like some, huge content creator.
Yeah, I think I would go as far as to say Biffle's community is there because they want to see the best player in the world. It's almost like going to watch Ronaldo
Yeah.
or Messi, right? People are showing up there because I would actually compare Messi more to Biffle because it's not like Messi's flashy. It's not like Messi is flexing his six-pack abs. It's not like Messi is, he's just there. He's showing up and he's scoring. He's just putting result after result, gathering trophies and trophies and trophies. That to me reminds me of Biffle, in the sense that people show up to Camp Nou to watch him play and just be the greatest at it, right? And I think Biffle is the best Call of Duty player in the world. I've been saying that, and I've been tweeting that for a year now. Um, but I think the appealing thing about Messi is the fact that he is so humble,
Mm.
and it's not like yeah, he might talk some shit on the pitch, etc. But I think Biffle reminds me of that, and at the end of the day, if you aren't as good as Biffle, you're not going to keep those numbers.
Mm.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, what else are you offering? Because I know damn well 99% of the people on Call of Duty, 99.9% of the people aren't going to be as good as Biffle, where you have 10,000 people in your consistent stream watching you for what it is that you're doing in Verdansk. So what else do you have to bring to the table to garner that attention outside of being good on joysticks? You know what I mean? Like, are you making them laugh? Are you entertaining? Are you educating? What is it? What is the plus up to just being good at a video game? Because I know kids that are 6 KDs like Biffle that have 3 or 4 viewers, and one of them is their own mobile on the side, right? So it's not just about being good at video games. I think it goes beyond that on the platform.
Okay, so we'll go into the subliners side of things now. So obviously, huge congratulations for that recent announcement. That's a huge step. So, like I
Thank
say,
you.
huge congratulations. How was it that was sort of introduced to yourself? Was it something that has been in the pipeline for a while, or is it just something that came across your desk recently?
Insanely fast. I went to meet with Aiden, Z Smith, Wagnificent, Destroy, and AD. AD and Smith are both on my team. AD's the NFL football player, professional football player for the New York Jets. And they're all very close to where this event was that NYSL was throwing. and I I met with the head of marketing there. Just happenstance, of course. It's like a LAN event, right? So um, I met with him and then grabbed dinner with him after him, Aiden, and all the boys that I just mentioned, and um, he just hit me up and was like, "Listen, I don't think that there's anyone on the East Coast that has your marketing experience or is as passionate about Warzone and the community behind it as you are.
Mm.
Um, how would you like to be involved with NYSL and working with me on what it is that, at least the initiatives that are coming up the rest of the year?" Um, and that happened this week. So it was like, 2-3 weeks after we had met, and yeah, now I'm you know I'm going to be helping out on at least 3 or 4 projects that they are working on currently. So extremely lucky. I think it's taking advantage of the time spent. It's not just there to sit behind Aiden and watch him beat people 1v1 speedball. It's also shaking hands and kissing babies, in the sense of how is it that you can network and make sure that you're taking advantage of people around you.
I think your mindset is like incredible, man. Like everything that you like every opportunity that you speak of is so like humbling and inspiring for other people. It's not a fact of, you know, because I'm not being funny, if I was offered something like that, it's that would be like I'd be acting completely different. It'd be a complete shock to the system for me, a complete, and all those emotions would come out. Where for you, it's just very okay. Yeah, I'm very blessed to have this happen to me, and I'm very blessed with this position. But let's make the most of this. Let's put things into work. Let's put things into motion. Let's create that mindset so that you are successful within that role and show them why it was the right thing to do to pick you up. And like you say, I think that's an incredible mindset to have. Incredible.
Thank you. I think it goes back to tying it back to like how it is that um, we're all human beings, right? I think the way that I look at things, it's almost like I have imposter syndrome. I was talking to AD about this in Discord before, earlier this week, where it's affected relationships, direct relationships, personal relationships, where there are goals for people and they are always trying to achieve said goals, and then they reach that goal, right? If they're lucky enough, they reach that goal, and then they stop, and then they celebrate that goal for however long, and then they set new goals and go from there. For me, I don't I don't have that lull stop of reaching that goal. Like that imposter syndrome is like, I got lucky to be where it is that I am. Do I belong here? My answer is no. Okay, so how is it that then I need to convert that to be me belonging here? So it's like a constant, in the back of your mind, mental fuck, for lack of a better term,
Mm.
of continuous hustle to not retract or regress from where it is that you are. And that leads to a couple different feelings and emotions. But, for half of this year, I say for 6 months of this year, I was severely depressed and in a huge funk where I was borderline about to start getting medicated for it, because I sat in a space where I didn't think that I was getting anywhere.
Mm.
Um, and mind you, I grew my Twitch stream to 5,000 followers in that space of time. But to me, it was like, what am I doing? I'm just sitting here playing video games, gaining weight, and what, living off of subscribers, right? That's a dream to some people, but the way that I think, it's kind of like, what else? What else can I do with what it is that I've been handed? And I just sat in that space of like, I am such a loser. I am a nobody. I literally have done nothing with my life. and that just led to some severe depression. And I think that's why my streams slowly started going down. I didn't want to expose that too much to people. So there's also the ugly side of always chasing for the next best thing, and it's I just need to be honest with what that is as well.
Yeah, I think that's so important to kind of explain and talk about because you see a lot of people that, really grind out the game or for example Warzone, will sit and play a 12-hour stint on Warzone, and some days come off and think, that was the best stream I've had, I've done this,
Hmm.
I've done that, I've achieved all my goals set for that stream. They could jump on the next day and, you know, stream for the exact same time, nothing happened. They jump off and they think that they've potentially done something wrong or they potentially, don't feel good enough in that position and like you say, I think that some things like, like depression and that sort of thing can creep in to people's mentality when, they're not necessarily succeeding, but in their eyes succeeding. But, to a lot of other people, they're being blessed, that they're sitting on, let's say they're sitting on 50 viewers. To them, that might be less than what they normally sit on. But then to me, you sit on one viewer, one person's taking their time out to watch you. So
Hmm.
it's a blessing. But like you say, people need, like sometimes forget that mindset when they set their goals and they're so motivated to hit those goals that, like you say, that negativity creeps in, and it's a very, I think, personally on a gaming platform, especially, it's such a slippy slope to go down when the negativity creeps in, and it's like you say, streaming and things like that. It can be such a negative turn, and like you say, people won't come back. People decide to go elsewhere. People, so again, but like you say, the mindset that you have in terms of, okay, I've hit this goal, brilliant. Let's hit another one. Where's my next goal? What is my next goal? Is an incredible mindset. Incredible.
Yeah, I think thank you for that. I think I want to make sure that I'm not taking away from people achieving goals either. Like I think for the first month I was averaging 8 viewers, right? And right before I went into a deep endeavor of the brand launch, I haven't streamed. I've streamed twice in the month of July. Like I've completely given up my streaming career for all intents and purposes, starting back from ground zero, just because you have to prioritize, right?
Yeah,
Um, if you're giving it your all and you're not finding the success that you think you deserve to have on your stream specifically, really go back and think about how much networking you're doing, how much time you're spending in other people's streams, how much time you're networking, because that is how I hacked Twitch.
yeah,
That is 100% how I hacked Twitch, which was I was constantly networking with streamers and not looking at their viewers. I didn't give a shit if I was networking with somebody that had 5,000 viewers or somebody that had 5 viewers.
yeah,
Again, it's about going in and just saying, "Hey, I'm here. How are you today? What game are we playing today? Yo, you're a bot. Wow, you're absolutely ass. That was a burger play. You just got chinned. Whatever." Just being engaged in somebody's community results in people caring about yours.
yeah,
That's a huge, huge miss if you think that just churning on the stream for 8 hours and you're sitting here dropping 20s and 30 bombs, that that's going to get you viewers. It's not.
yeah.
And we haven't even started talking about content yet. So it's kind of like you there's several different ways on how it is that you can grow your community. Um, and not get so sad about like sitting on that 1 to 10 viewers if you've been grinding your ass out for the past 3 to 6 months doing the same thing.
And I think personally, from my point of view, with things like Twitter and that sort of thing, interactions with Twitter, like you say, the people with 10,000 followers, it's all good interacting with them, but then are you, interacting with the people that have 15 followers, 50 followers, 100 followers? Like you say,
Hmm.
interacting with everyone, you know, ultimately builds your community, your platform, your interactions, all that kind of thing. And, you know, like you say, you don't know who those people are. They could be someone that, again, like you say, you come up as a group, you want to bring people with you.
Hmm.
That interaction with that one person, you could think, actually, do you know what? This guy deserves so much more. Let's bring him in. Do you know what I mean? Let's share that community with him. Let's share someone else's community with him. Let's help him help himself and give him that mindset, give him those tips and tricks, and really grow his community. And like you say, it's good to see so many people now, especially being able to do this full time. Like you say, content in general, with it being over so many platforms that they're able to actually express themselves and really take it as a career.
Yeah, for
So,
sure. I think you hit the nail on the head in the sense that it's so important to and now you're making me reminisce on things that I did in the past. When I was at I think the highest sub count that I reached was something like 2,900 subs, right?
mm,
And at one time. And I put so much value in the Twitter DMs that I was getting of people telling me about their mental health, of people telling me how I inspired them to start streaming, of people telling me about, sending me their favorite music. That's what I cared about more than I did through just getting like, of course there's value behind dollar transaction, right? I'm not
yeah,
putting that off to the side, but I think what I loved the most was a wide range of colors and creeds and ages DMing me on Twitter, telling me about their life. And that shit, that actually makes me happy to think about again, because now I'm just remembering how many people reached out initially with that stuff. And I think that is just as valuable as getting a sub from somebody,
yeah.
you know?
No, definitely. I think, like you say, the value of a community um, is ultimately a lot more valuable than, like you say, the dollar sign that you're going to get.
Mm.
If it's something that that's what you live off, that is your full-time job, then obviously that is important as well. But I think the people that don't put that as a priority, 95% of the time, are more successful because they, like you say, they interact with every single person. You've just followed. Okay, brilliant. You're part of the community. You don't have to be a 6 month sub for me to interact with you. That's that kind
Exactly.
of thing. And because, like you say, you don't know who these people are. You don't know what they're going through. Mentally, um, anything like that. And you could make someone's day by interacting with them, by just streaming itself. And I think that's crazy. Something that I've focused on this year is that because I don't need to do this full time, I have a job, and that sort of thing. I've been able to donate all the revenue that I've got to various charities and through, but I've also then had such unreal support from other people's communities, people that I've had on the podcast, people come in and show so much love, all that sort of thing, and then I'm able to then pass it on to other people's communities, charities, and all that kind of thing. It's for me personally, that's what my aim is to do, to help others, to make a difference for other people. But that all comes from other people like yourself, and these other people, influencers within the scene that all go, okay, take your podcast for example, use this trick, use this tip, to better yourself, market yourself better on this social media, market yourself better on this social media to again benefit yourself. And it's such a brilliant opportunity for myself to have someone like you come on, because, like I say, the mindset alone is just incredible to sit here and listen to, and yeah, incredible.
Appreciate that. Thank you. And I think it's super honorable that you're bettering other people's lives. I think that's something that authentically will be relayed, and thus hopefully other people see that as well, which then results in further exposure for what it is that you're doing.
Mm.
Um, there are plenty of people on this platform that don't give back and have a lot to give back based off of what it is that they're getting from their viewers and their audience.
Yeah.
So I support the people that are looking to, as cheesy and as corny as this sounds, make the world a better place in some way, shape, or form. Um, because if you just come off as somebody that is extremely self-serving and somebody that's only doing it for his or her benefit, I'm just going to click on somebody else's stream because
Yeah.
there's plenty of other people to watch.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. Like you say, you've got to earn that. Ultimately, you've got to earn every single viewer in my book, um,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of whether it's your first viewer or it's your, 15,000th viewer in the stream. Okay, so we'll go on to Team Rafi now. So, like you say, you've got was it 14 members that you said so far?
14 members.
Yeah. And is that just a range of, people, Warzone players, content creators, TikTokers, YouTubers? Is it across the whole board, or?
My business model was to sign the best of the best Warzone players from a skill set perspective, with less than 10 viewers, with less than X amount of followers. Basically, my business model was to sign kids that, for the majority, and I'm sorry for saying this, nobody fucking knew.
Mm.
Um, who I believe stood a chance to be the next somebody.
Yeah.
With any shape or sort, like with any sort of guidance, with any sort of donos, with any sort of advice, setting up the platforms. None of them were on TikTok when I signed them, except for one player. None of them were active on Twitter, except for a couple players. So they were incredibly good at the game, but didn't really know how to go about growing their channel or growing their presence in the community. So now we have what's going to be set up as Warzone pros versus content creators, which is the business model. We'll have 12 content creators and 2 Warzone pros on the team.
Okay. I mean, like you say, it, even listening to that and you saying, look, we don't want the best of the best that people are sat on, 20k viewers. That's not what you're here for as as a team. You want to pick the players that you think, you know what, let's help you grow. Let's help you, like you say, I keep saying it, but market yourself better. Um, Grow on all social medias. TikTok, TikTok's huge in terms of people that have grown from TikTok. And I think that even the people that, you know, aren't on there is beyond me. Um, but I think another person that kind of reminds me of the same mindset as yourself is Kyle, cousin Kyle. I honestly think that like you're the NA Kyle, and he's like the EU Rafi. So like you
That's good.
two are
That's
just your
flattering, man. That's flattering. I love that kid.
both your mindsets are just incredible. Like I've had Kyle on before, and like I say, I could happily just put you two in Discord, let you two just chat away, and then I'll just put my feet up and listen. But yeah, no,
Well,
incredible.
yeah. What I love about him is that I had found out about Kaizen in the middle of my depression.
Mm.
Um, I'd spoken about some of the lack of mental health that I had, and some of the heavy depression that I was going through. And I was like, why isn't anyone talking about? Because if you sit through a timeline, right, and Harry, you're deeply involved and follow some of the same people. If you sit on Twitter and you scroll enough, right, you're sitting in bed and you're scrolling enough on what it is that you're indulging in from a content or whoever it is that you're following. There are so many kids, and when I say kids, I'm talking wide range of people complaining about something,
Mm.
basically screaming for help in one tweet, right? How unhappy they are, the tough life that they're going through, whatever it may be, and that's just surface level them talking about it on one tweet,
Yeah.
right? There's probably a book worth of a story long about how it is that they need to better engage life, and I think Kaizen to me, I still remember vividly, is change for the better is what it stands for, right? Or what it means in translating to Japanese. I want to say change for the. I'm
Mm.
sorry if I'm speaking out of turn, but I think that's what it means. Change for the better. And I read that and I was like, dude, I love this. Like, who's running this? And Kyle was already following me when I found out who was like the founder, co-founder of what Kaizen was, and I was like, since then, we've kind of just been watching each other from a distance. As soon as I launch this org, one of the big things that I'm going to do is tap into whatever it is that the Kaizen crew's working on, because I do think that there's a lot of amazing things. There's been probably 5 or 6 DMs that I've gotten about Kaizen and how it is that me and Kyle should collabo in some way, shape, or form. And I'd be incredibly humbled to work with people that are trying to set a better mental health mindset, physical health mindset, injected into the gaming community. There's definitely something there, and I hope to see them blow up.
Yeah. No. Brilliant. Okay, so we're on to the final few questions now. Um, so regarding your content, so what's the best sort of moment that you've had through, like you say, content as in marketing, helping people, or the content that you create yourself? What's the best moment that you've had of that to date?
Um, You know, there's a couple. I think one that comes to mind is obviously Hector rating me with like 4,000 viewers.
Yeah.
I think that was a very like sweet moment just because I was in there when he had 40 viewers,
Mm.
and you know, watching back the VOD and how it was that he introduced the raid was incredibly heartstring pulling, in the sense that he was like, this is a day one, this is somebody that's been supporting me, you guys have no idea what he kind of just went through the spiel,
Yeah.
and then he rated me, and I was sitting at like 20 viewers, and I'm terrible at the game, so like people that are there are really just there for the personality, not to watch me play.
Mm.
But I'd say that was a very, very sweet moment. Another sweet moment was um, there is a girl that was part of my community very early on that I was coaching through on Discord for probably a month or two, that wanted to come out as transgender and didn't know how to go about it, didn't want to be on camera, um, hadn't even told her parents um, about like the transition and the plans for all of that. And one day she messaged me while I was live on stream and said, "Check Discord." I said, "Okay, cool. Let me go check." And I checked, and in the Discord she said, and I'll never forget this, because I shared it with my girlfriend right away. Um, because of all of your help and all of your guidance, I told my family about me being transgendered, and I almost started crying
Mm.
because I think that was the moment that I realized the type of influence that I could have on people. and the fact that me just sending over words led to a moment like that in somebody's life. Um, I think that was probably one of my favorite moments as a content creator. Yeah.
I mean that in itself, is an incredible story. Like you say, you've been able to influence someone to have that make such a big decision, um, and support them through it. And like you say, I'm sure that that person, after they made that, announcement to their family, felt 100 times better than what they did before. Um, and like you say,
Yeah.
the emotion side of it afterwards, I can only imagine how sort of, yeah, how grateful you are to sit there and have that person within your community.
Hmm. She streams now. She's got her own community. I rarely see her in my streams because I don't stream anymore. But the fact that she's on camera and she's comfortable in her skin as she's going through her transition to me is top notch. That there's nothing more rewarding than that.
Yeah. And like you say, every time you see that name, you go on Twitch, you see that name live, you see, people in the stream, again, that must bring such a warm feeling inside, knowing that you've kind of helped that person, transition and become comfortable and make those steps. Um,
Yep.
Again, incredible. Um, okay, so last two questions. So we've got the best person that you've worked with to this date and why.
Best person that I've worked with. Original Connor is his name. Um, Without him, I wouldn't have the stream that I have. Without him, I wouldn't have the PCs that I have. Without him, I wouldn't have the designs that I have. The kid has never asked me for one penny. And he has spent hours upon hours helping me design my stream, design my overlays. He built my streaming PC. Obviously, I paid him for the parts, asked him how much he wanted to get paid for building it. He said zero. Um, Spent hours on hours on setting up my Go XLR, hours on hours on just so many different factors and pit stops that I've had setting up my camera. Um, the kid is 18 years old, maybe 19, heading into college. And if there's one person that I'm going to put on salary, if I end up making the organization something that's profitable and big enough,
Mm.
it's Original Connor. The kid is super eternally grateful for me, obviously opening up my network, and he's gotten a ton of clients from just like me recommending him and tweeting about him, etc. But he's just such a humble person, and when somebody does things without expecting reciprocity, that goes a long way with me, a very long way with me, and yeah.
Yeah, I think you're the same with me there. Like you say, if someone scratches your back, you do everything to scratch theirs back. Um,
Hmm.
like you say, there is people within this scene that are so giving and so without thought, just straight away, just let me help you. Let me do this, do that. There's a lad that I know, um, IRL that doesn't stream, um, just doesn't really game, but just knows a hell of a lot about the gaming scene, PCs, everything. And he comes round my house and literally, as soon as I got my PC, he's like, right, give me a ring as soon as you've got it. Straight away, he's round my house. He's building it. He's putting all this, does all that for me. And then again, you say, you know, is there anything I can give you? And he's like, no. They just do it to help. And like you say,
Yeah.
when you do get to that point where you can, you know, salary sort of thing, you can give back to those people. It's the first thing that comes to your head, and those sorts of people deserve, you know, upon dollar signs upon dollar signs, um, you know, for just being themselves.
Exactly.
Okay, so if you could work with anyone that you've not worked with previously, who would it be and why?
Um, Probably Optic Hex.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you two in a room would be dangerous. I mean,
It's
the things that would happen would be
Yeah, I think so, man. I think Hector Rodriguez would be the person that I would want to work with.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't think I even need to say why or anything. I mean obviously the Latino connection, the fact that he's an org owner, the fact that he has changed so many people's lives for the better, and the platform that he's built and the respected organization that it is. I think Optic is entirely different than 100 Thieves and entirely different than Face Clan. Um,
mm,
but nonetheless still has this cult following. Um, I would love to just work with him in any way, shape, or form, somehow, some way. I think eventually, once I'm a little bit more established and once I have built something that maybe he turns an eye to, I think I would absolutely love that.
yeah. I think, like you say, you have the same moles in terms of that family environment. It's not just one person at the top that reaps the rewards. It's every single person in that building that you're bringing up. Every single person
Yeah.
is rewarded. Every single person puts in the hard work. Even the community that supports every single one of those people. It's that family environment. Like
Mm.
you say with Hex. You see any LAN event which Optic are involved in, and their numbers are, you know, at least half of the crowd is Optic, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like you say, it's that family environment. Hex is out there meeting people, um, meeting the same faces that are there at every single event, but then also meeting the new ones that are just up and coming. And yeah, I think that's the story from Hex, obviously getting Optic back and all that kind of thing is incredible. But honestly, I think you two in a room would be dangerous.
I'd be standing out for sure. I
uh,
would be.
okay, so the final question is a surprise question for you, and it's not gaming related, so
Okay.
do not worry. Um, if you were stuck on an island, okay,
Okay.
you get to take three items with you,
Oh boy.
and then one person. Go.
The person would be my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Um, because even if we died of hunger or whatever, she's the person that I would want to last see on this planet. Um, so the person's easy. The person's my girlfriend. Three items.
Yeah.
Jesus. Uh, I mean, I'd say my phone, but then I'd have to say a phone charger as a second part of that. No.
So with your phone, I'll let you take your phone and your charger as one. That's one item. I'll let you have that one.
Okay.
I'm
So
feeling I'm feeling nice.
thank you. My phone, my charger,
Yeah.
my dog,
Yeah.
which could count as an item. My dog.
Yeah.
A, because of protection. B, he could probably teach him to hunt. Um, he'd be more of a worker than just a companion, but also just the companionship. If I'm stuck on an island just with my girlfriend, then I can also talk to the dog.
Yeah.
If I wanted to go to the other side of the island and get away from my girlfriend, the dog would be there with me. So the dog is very practical in a lot of shapes, in a lot of different ways. So the phone, my dog, and we're on an island, so I guess sunglasses.
I mean, you've got to look good. You've got to look good when you're on the island. I respect it.
I mean, if we're on an island. I just the practicality of being able to protect and block out the sun. Like I don't want to be like this the entire time. Um, so yeah, I think those are the three items. We'd find a way and manage to survive.
Yeah, no, I respect it. So you got your sunglasses, your dog, and then obviously your phone, and then
Hmm.
with your girlfriend. I mean, that's some pretty good choices, I must admit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably predictable, but nonetheless practical.
No, that is it for today, though. Again, honestly, thank you so much for coming on. Um, you are one of few people that inspire me to carry on grinding and carry on pushing. And like you say, the mindset alone is incredible. Um, so again,
Thank you,
thank
man.
you so much, and it's been an honour to have you on, and to collab on this. Um, so again, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, and I really enjoyed our conversation today. So,
Good stuff,
thank you.
guys. If you didn't see all of the podcast, it will be uploaded to YouTube within the hour. So I'll get it all up on there, and then you can see all of Rafi's socials as well. So make sure you go show him love. Thank you, everyone.
Awesome.
Though, peace. Thank you for coming.
Have a good one.